Hello everybody and welcome back to the Apex Online Racing PC Split 1 Championship. We've come to the penultimate round of Season 13. We've come to the United States of America, to the obviously beautiful Circuit of the Americas in Texas. And I am Ryan L83, back once again after a few days away from my normal stuff. It's great to be back. And joining me once again is our Finnish version of Ted Kravitz. It is Marco FD. Marco, welcome back once again, and Texas then, for what could be a championship-defying moment for Berg von Trips.
Hello Ryan, and hello everyone on the stream. Yes, Texas for sure. Should be a very exciting race tonight, Ryan. I've just taken a peek at the weather predictions. We have a dry quali, obviously, but the race is it's gonna be spicy in the end because there's rain near the end of the race. So it might bring out some amazing strategies here.
It shall indeed. Like a bit of spice tonight, don't we, Marco? We'd like to see some exciting racing going on tonight. But as I've mentioned, we could be crowning a new champion tonight at the end of this race, because currently as it stands, Berg von Trips is 8 points ahead of his contender Wycoms, who is unfortunately again not available to race this week because he's away on holiday. So Berg only has to finish second or higher and he'll be crowned world champion in Season 13 of AOR. And Marco, that's got to be a lot of confidence for Berg, knowing that his rival is not here this week, but a little bit of pressure on him as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's out on the super softs right away. He's not leaving any question marks here and going for that pole position and trying to finish on a high right here and seal the deal.
We'll see as Kalon's got a little bit of bother ahead of him. He's got a Red Bull and he's on the super soft tyres, but I've just had a glance through some of the drivers tonight, and some are on the super softs, which is the quickest tyre that they've got available tonight, and also the soft tyre. So I'm going to see, Marco, some interesting strategies like we saw last week at Suzuka, and especially with the rain as well. What would you be doing in this situation? As Kalon is just nearly at the back of that Red Bull there, very close to see, but Marco, what are we expecting from the guys tonight for strategy with that rain as well right at the end of the race? What do you think they'll do?
It's a good question, Ryan, because going off a dry scenario, it's a one-stop. You can go super soft, medium till the end if you want. You would think that, considering with the rain at the end, people might try super soft, and then inters. But we'll see.
It will be intriguing to see how long these super softs can go for, but it could be the weather as well. With high temperatures here, with sunny conditions, it may affect the tyre wear, but we'll wait and see. And also in the overcast, the super softs don't really work in those conditions as well. So
no, they need high track temperature to work, and they only last around 9 laps maximum, and the softs can go around 15 to 17 laps, I believe.
We shall see as here comes Mathis then to be the first man to set a time, well actually one of the drivers set a time, and he sets a 1:38.4 and he drops to 9th now because the car partner beat him. But we're coming to the end of F1 2016, guys, on the AOR. Only, 3 weeks away? 2 weeks on Friday.
There's 19 days left, Ryan, and there's been footage out there, so I think there has been info plenty now, so I hope everyone's looking forward to it.
Yep, I certainly am looking forward to it. I've not decided yet, obviously as you know, Marco, briefly talking to you before we start the broadcast, that I may be coming back. It is to be confirmed, I'm just going to say right now, if I'm going to commentate again, do these broadcasts, or come back and race again, but it will be decided, guys, at some point over the next few weeks. We'll see how it is when I have a play with this, when it comes out, when I come back on my holidays actually. I do miss the first week of the game, unfortunately, but we'll see how this goes. But I can say as well,
I hope I miss the first weekend of this game. Means I'm at Spa.
I just want to quickly say before we just continue on with qualifying that next week is obviously the last race in Abu Dhabi, and to celebrate the end of the season, I will be returning to do a social race again on the Saturday. I'll be posting
Brazil,
that. It's at Brazil actually, so thank you very much, Marco. I'll be racing at Brazil on Saturday in the social race that I'm going to set up, so it will be published straight after this broadcast. So if you want to get involved with that, then make sure to pop over to the AOR PC section and sign yourselves up to race with me and also my fellow co-commentator Marco FD and try and beat us, which would be quite exciting. But anyway, Slick in P10, who's been really, I think, the standout performer. I think one of the standout performers of the hot throughout the second half of the season, where picked up his did pick up his first win in Monza before he got taken away from him, unfortunately. With Strees getting penalties, he just took a big corner cut there through the penultimate corner here, and he just dives back into the pits, and he's done. He just nearly clips the wall there as well. So, speaking on that topic there, Marco, who do you think, from what you've seen in the second half of the season, has impressed you and want to keep an eye on in this race, but also into next season as well in Split 1?
Well, yeah, for sure. RBK, when he came in, was really strong off the bat. Well, if S13 stays on the PC side, he is obviously a force to be reckoned with. But as you can see right now, Failer is not doing that bad either. He only has to nail the race consistency more, because that's where he seems to lose it. But from one lap pace, you wouldn't say that about him.
We'll see as we're just watching Fab Racer in the McLaren. Did a good job there in P2 on the super soft tyres, so not too bad. As we go, just quickly go through the times. Failer, as you just mentioned, currently fastest on pole with a 36 flat. Then he's
4 tenths ahead of P2 actually, Ryan. And my prediction, by the way, for pole is a 35.7.
Still 3 tenths to gain then from your prediction there, but Fab Racer we just saw there in P2. The current championship leader in P3 is Berg von Trips, and we've got Fizzy up there in P4. And then it's the first of the soft runners with Strees in 5th, and then about 4 tenths back is RBK, who was last week's driver of the day by quite comprehensively, I would say. Wouldn't you say, Marco, last week was RBK?
60%.
Yeah, 60% of the votes went to RBK, and again, if you are new to the broadcast, then at the round about 10 laps to go, we'll be releasing the driver of the day polls, where you guys can vote for who you think deserves it for their great drive today at United States, and we'll reveal the winner in the interview stages as well. And we'll see how that goes.
I do think RBK is a great driver, of course, but in some races I think some people did more things, and for some reason they didn't get the driver of the day. But yeah, that's why it's a public vote, obviously.
There's been some good candidates actually from last week, I will say. Like Slick, for example, he did a good job beating his teammate Berg, who had a great comeback. Obviously, Strees had his moment actually with the disconnection, which was a bit of a strange one actually.
Or Slick when he initially won in Monza. I mean, that was a good candidate back then.
He was indeed. As we're just watching Fab Racer, not the greatest of first sectors, a 25.7, 4 tenths off the best time. And here is the man then, who could be crowned champion by the end of this race here. And funny enough, actually, this is quite a nice scenario. He's in the Mercedes, he's driving as Lewis Hamilton, and it was on this track he won the World Championship in 2015.
And he's 1/10 purple at the moment.
And he is indeed, he's up in the first sector over 25.2. Good statement there, and intent from Berg von Trips at a 39.1 middle sector, which actually is matching Failer's middle sector at this point here. And this could be very close for pole between himself and Failer's really come out of his shell, actually, I've got to say, Marco, hasn't he, in that Force India. He's done a stellar job near the end of the season with his quick pace.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and Berg just has a little bit of a twitch through the penultimate corner, turned it a little bit too early there, nearly got a corner cut out of it, but he comes out the final corner. Is this going to be pole position for the time being? It is indeed a 35.7, just as you mentioned, Marco, bang on with a 35.7. Good time there from our championship leader.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to go any lower than this, but yeah.
Very strong time there from Berg, as Fab Racer just about to start another lap. I need to go again, actually.
That last sector was really strong, as you can see. If you nail that penultimate corner, you can gain so much time out of it, but it's really easy to run wide as well.
Papa's actually left the session, unfortunately. He's retired from qualifying. Might be a disconnection, but he was P4. It's not bad there from Papa in the Renault. Hopefully he will come back on very shortly and get back onto the track and set another time here. It's Vizzy come across the line then to start his lap, and he's currently in P5, so doing a good job that Fizzy. Has had a busy week, Of course, he does do other commitments alongside the F1 2016 League. Of course, he does iRacing, and I believe it's the Ferrari and Ford Challenge that he does on a Tuesday, and also the Formula Renaults as well on the Friday. So very busy bee is busy, but he has the time to spend a little bit of time practicing for this, and he's not that bad in the first sector actually. He's done a 25.3, not only a 10th off the pole time actually, so not too bad there from Fizzy tonight, Marco.
Yep, seems like he has put in a little time there. And, that first sector, I personally love it. I don't know about you, but if you get it right, then it's really satisfying.
Well, if I'm honest with you, Marco, this isn't one of my favourite tracks to drive on. I've had some poor performances here in previous AOR races, and I just don't like the flow of the circuit, but I do love the first sector.
Yeah, that last sector is bullshit.
Yeah, it's I love the nice resemblance of Turn 8 Turkey. I quite like that corner. It's the only
that one is nice, yeah, I agree, but the squiggly section after the straight is not fun.
Yeah, I mean, Turn 1's not too bad. I like the uphill crest, and you know, you got to turn, it's a blind, you can't see the apex, and then you go through the resemblance of Magnus and Beckett's as well. It's absolutely fantastic. But it's also...
there's great battling into the corner, because there's multiple lines through it, and like you said, you're edging into the corner, hitting the apex, downhill into the fast section, and then it's just a matter of lifting and downshifting a little bit. So Max just put it into P4.
He has, and we're just watching the man who won last week's Drive of the Day, and also, I believe, he won the race as well in Suzuka, minus penalties, I believe.
After a 1, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head, actually.
I think after a 1. And then
yes, he did.
RBK was second.
He did, and thank you for that correction there. RBK's gone out on a fresh set of super softs. He did set the second quickest on the soft tyre, but he's now decided to go on to the super softs, maybe to see... he's in a good position actually. He's in P11. If he stays where he is, he could obviously be the first man on fresh tyres, and maybe the guys outside the top 10 may go onto the mediums and do a no-stop strategy before the rain comes here. Is that possible, Marco, would you say, to do that for the drivers outside the top 10 tonight?
Well, it really depends on when the rain is coming down, but I think that mediums do last a very long time, at least 20 laps.
So we'll have to see. He did say around about the 40-minute mark, so that's around about the same time as Marco's just predicted there, but RBK is going to come around then to complete the lap. It's not a good first sector compared to the pole sitters, and he's going to come up to the line. He goes P3 with a 36.3, so not too bad for RBK there tonight. The fans' favourite in the YouTube chat as always, and likes to speak his Polish at the interview phases, which is always a nice little thing to see, which is great, of course, and great to see different nationalities as well in the league in Split 1. You've got English, you've got Croatian, you've got Norway, you've got France, Sweden, Austria, Germany. It's great to see that the AOR brings out the best talent on F1 2016, Marco, from around the world, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I think that with the more iterations of the game, the nationalities have been more mixed, and it's a good thing to see, because in real F1 you have a lot of mixed nationalities as well.
It is, and RBK has actually done a 26.266, which puts him, I believe, the fastest in the first sector, actually. So
25 was the fastest first sector.
Thank you for that one there, Marco. But he's looking. Oh yeah, 20. Was it 25? Did I say?
Yeah, 25.2. He actually has a 25.4 himself. So
that's my bad. And Fab Racer coming out on the soft tyres, Marco, interestingly, in P4.
S13, I don't see him being satisfied with 10th on the soft tyres.
He's just got to hope someone pips him here and gets outside that top 10 and start on the fresh tyres, which
he's on his outlet, but we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. Is it Fab Racer's the one to keep an eye on, actually, if he's on those soft tyres. He's out of the top 5, he's the only man out on circuit on those tyres, so intriguing, actually. Strategy here for qualifying. We'll see.
Lots of supernova runners, I'm surprised.
So we're going to give you guys a lap of the circuit, as I didn't really give a lap guide, unfortunately, because it's been very busy this weekend. So up the hill then, he's going to go into turn 1, just at the 100-metre board, and it's a very difficult call, this one, to get right, isn't it, Marco, that turn 1. You just can't see the corner with the apex there.
No, you have to gradually turn into it, really.
Indeed, as we go through the famously known section here of Mangans and Beckett's in the United Kingdom, and this track does have a nice variant of circuits around there, resemblance of circuits, like you just saw there with the fast left-right of Mangans and Beckett's, and then eventually they're going to come towards the last sector, which obviously Marco's not a fan of, and neither do I, of Turn 8 Turkey as well, and the stadium section of Germany as well, which is very nice. As we see a Ferrari putting out of the way of Fab Racer, and will deploy the first of 2 DRS zones actually around this circuit. One right here that you can see, and then one on the main straight as well. So plenty of places to overtake, which is obviously fantastic for this circuit, as he's actually going to come into that final sector. It's 25.6 first sector, which isn't too bad for the soft tyres. Maybe he's getting a feel. Oh, he's run very wide though, and I think he's going to bail out of this lap now. And maybe he's just getting a feel for the soft tyres, Marco. Potentially.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
maybe Burke isn't coming out either anymore, so I'm assuming he only had 2 sets of super softs.
Maybe these guys are just trying to save a set of the super softs potentially to see how long they can go. Maybe they'll go for the 2 super soft stints potentially if the rain comes around about lap 18.
It's supposedly only going to rain very lightly near the end, so you wouldn't assume them to go twice for super soft. They would end up short.
We'll have to see. The weather has trolled us a little bit during the season, of course, and when was one that we thought
Taylor is going purple in the first sector by 1/10 over a bird.
Hopefully the game will not troll me here and take me off the person that I would like to see. And I'm trying to find Taylor right now. Where is he on the side? Find him. There he is, coming through. Excuse me, a 25-1 in the first sector there. And we're going to watch him here. Taylor coming down the back. Oh, just got a burp. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad broadcasting right now. You don't see David Croft doing this.
No, Nuka just put it into P2 without us
Nuka slipping in there. Good job there. Nani is not racing this week, Fred, alongside Wycombs, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, and also Andre is not racing this week as well. So 3 missing from the field tonight, as we're just going to see if Fader can get pole position in. Maybe that call...
He's down 10th now in the second sector, so he has to have it. Bring it all into the last sector like Burke did.
It all depends how aggressive he goes here, as he's coming
Looking great.
Looking good going into the final corner. Is this going to be pole position for Thaler as he comes across the line? It isn't by 1/100th of a second there.
Wow.
Unfortunate there for Thaler, but a good strong quali though for Force India once again, and that's what we want to see as well. Nooker as well, as you mentioned, doing a stellar job.
Yeah.
To get 3rd place as well, so not too bad
Yeah,
there.
I did get my pole prediction right after all, luckily.
And that's what we want as well. And Fab Racer comes across the line in P7. Fizzy's the next man across the line. He's coming in, he's down in 9th on the super soft. Rubbed a little bit wide on the penultimate corner. May as well got away, and he's bailed out of it. And I think that is everyone. No, we're not. We've got Mathis on the circuit, and he's about to cross the line. And I think he is the last man. And no, he's coming into the pits as well. So that is going to wrap up qualifying right now. And it is Berg Von Trips on pole position again, as Fizzy will retire from the session. Mathis will retire very shortly, and we'll take you through the grid for this United States Grand Prix. And there is your grid, very close between Berg and Thaler. That is extremely close, and Nooker pops out of nowhere in P3. A great job from him. We know how good he is at the start of a race. Maxim 4th, RBK the fans' favourite in P5, Afro P6, Fab Racer 7th, Papa 8th, Fizzy in 9th, and Fokutaro gets a 10th place, and Strees, as I mentioned, is outside the top 10 in 11th place. So that is very good position for him actually to be in, because he has the fresh set of tyres, the first man there. So in the meantime, we have to back out of the lobby until the formation lap begins, and then we can come back in again. Hopefully we won't have any issues like we did in Spa. Always worry about this point here, Marco. So obviously, 2017 maybe around the corner, and maybe try and do something about that. We'd love to see that, of course. We'll have to wait and find out, won't we, Marco?
Might as well just join the lobby itself, but not join the actual
the session
race.
Well, so I'm just going to join a Fizzy's invite actually. So thankfully Fizzy has sent me that just before, and just connecting down to the lobby. There we go. So at the minute we can't do anything. we're going to wait.
At least we're in here, which is one step more than Spa.
Yep, that's the great news, of course. But let me know, guys, who do you think's going to win this race? And also, do you think Berg is going to win the championship tonight? Or do you think it's going to go down? I personally would like to see it go to Brazil, because we get to see...
I think everyone will, except Berg.
Of course, Berg wants to sign it off tonight. But do remember, if you just joined us for the first time, Berg has to come second or higher to be crowned champion, as Wycombs is not here tonight. Very crucial for Berg to finish in the top 2. He's done one half of it. He's in pole position, of course. So he's just got to bring it home tonight and be the world champion. And hopefully, we would like to speak to him after the race if he wins the championship, if he's there. And I expect him to do a shoey as well.
Hopefully for him, there's no tires on the track like last race.
But
did you see what happened to him? There was like a debris.
I did see the footage. If you guys have not seen the footage, go over to Berg's YouTube channel and find it in the forums, because it was a bizarre incident for Berg that nearly really cost him a win or potential points there over Wycombe. So if you haven't seen it, go and check it out right now. And
you can join the race now, Ryan, if you want.
Thank you very much. But please make sure, guys, if you're new around here and want to see more AOR coverage, then let me know by liking the video and also subscribing as well, so you don't miss out as the field and my car is ghosting, which hopefully is good news. We've had this issue before.
I was in the lobby before you and there's no problem on my end.
Okay, that's excellent. So we're not on the grid, of course, we're not driving, which is the good news. So the drivers are off then on their formation laps. We'll take you through the runners then. If you just joined us for the first time, Berg, who could win the championship tonight on pole position, a good start for him. Then Baylor in second place, a strong second for him in the Force India. Look at the surprise one in qualifying, I've got to say, in P3 for Red Bull. Max, Baylor's teammate in P4, so good to see a good strong here performance from the Force India, so we've got to keep an eye on them.
Baylor is also a good starter in my memory.
He has indeed, that's a very good start. RBK in 5th.
It's already overcast, by the way, Ryan. Do you see that?
I do indeed, so the rain may come earlier than usual, but obviously we have no idea when the rain's going to come, because we don't have Jeff to tell us when the rain comes, so we have to guess how it is right there. But let's take you through the grid. Afro in 6th, Fan Racer in 7th, Papa in 8th, and all the drivers in the top 10 are all on the super soft tyres. But now is the interesting factor on what the rest of the field are. So the first man, Strees, on the soft tyre, interestingly. Kalon on the medium tyres, his teammate to Strees, interestingly enough. Ramdrop, who's back, hopefully gets back to strong performances as we've seen in the past. He's also streaming on Twitch, so go and check him out if you want to. It's Ramdrop on Twitch, also on the soft tyres. Deve, interestingly, he's on the super soft tyre. Interesting. Mathis in 15th on the mediums. Slick, one to keep an eye on actually, on the mediums as well. Springer on the super softs. Nicky on the mediums. Chicane on the mediums. And me and Marco, of course, on no idea what we are on actually, because we're not in the race, so
probably mediums.
Possibly. I think it was on soft tyres actually, I'm not too sure, but
Okay.
the grid is forming up then for the penultimate round of the Apex Online Racing PC Split 1 Championship. It's going to be interesting. We could be crowning a champion tonight. It's going to get interesting going up there, up the hill towards turn 1. We could see some carnage, we could see some clean racing up there. We're about to find out as we're about to start then this race, round 14 of the championship. We're just waiting for Springer to come in, and I'm actually on the grid. So this is going to be a bit of an awkward start for us, but we're going to head off then as the lights are out. Away we go here. We can't do anything at the minute. We have to wait until the drivers have actually got to turn 1. We've got to be safe, but it looks very tasty up there, Marcus. We see some people dive bombing into turn 1. So we're going to have to hold it off for the time being, but we apologies for this, but this is a bit of a glitch with the game. So a bit unfortunate, and hopefully we should be given the all clear in a minute by, well, hopefully Marco was, his Marco's retired, so we're going to retire as well.
They're out of this sector as well.
Intriguing first sector there, but someone's gone off up ahead. I don't even spotted that, Marco. But
oh dear.
Strees having a nightmare start then, so we apologise for the issues there, but Berg, a clean start for him. And Papa's actually moved up to P3 actually. Lucas had the poor start, dropped from 2nd on the grid, and there's been some contact actually between the Force India of, I think it was Max and Papa's dropping down the field, back to P5, Nuka up to P4. But at the front, Fainer's holding on to Berg at the time, for the time being, gets a bit of slipstream as well on the Mercedes. Watching him on board right now, he's going to try and close the gap down on our leader right now. But the big loser out of that has to be Stries, especially. It was on the
Nuka back into third place. He overtook Max.
He did indeed.
Descending into the tight section here. Can dive bomb here very easily.
RBK looking feisty as well in P5 in the Toro Rosso, right on the back of the Force India of Max, and obviously you got, as you said, Nuka up to P3. So a good recovery that from Nuka from the first couple of corners where he actually had a little bit of issues on the one. But apart from that, I think it's been a clean start as well, which is what we want to see.
Failer has found an attachment to, let's say, the back of slipstream of Berg there, so he's not going to get away really easily now.
Gap's 9 tenths of a second at the end of the first lap here of the United States Grand Prix. Berg leads, and do remember, second is all he needs to win the championship tonight. So we could be seeing him doing a shoey tonight. That would be absolutely fantastic to see if that ever happens. So if you guys want to see him do a shoey, you can persuade him in the chat right now with the hashtag BergShoey. So we want to see that in the chat right now. If you want to see Berg, if you want to see Berg do a shoey, then let us know, and possibly we may even put it on Twitter. We can put it in the stream potentially, if it happens there. But he has to celebrate, doesn't he, Mark, if he wins the championship? He has to.
He has to, yeah, for sure.
Gap up ahead, though. 2 tenths down Failer is on Berg. So Berg's now out of that DRS range, which is crucial for him. But look behind him right now. There's a bit of a train going on. Ramdrop's run a little bit wide, though, out of the hairpin. Down in P9 in the Red Bull. Ram's not having a great few races, actually.
Nuka is being overtaken left and right here by the Toro Rosso and the Force India.
And he's actually up to 3rd place, so RBK 2 positions in a space of what, corner? That played RBK 5th to 3rd.
Double slipstream for him.
Absolutely.
He's already pulling out there.
Absolutely fantastic that from RBK, 5th to 3rd, and he's now in a very good position to close down potentially Failer and also Berg. I think RBK was a little bit off in qualifying. We have seen his race pace actually pretty good, but can get some penalties as well, because especially around here, penalties are vulnerable. You can get penalties easily around here with corner cuts. So I can take a good example of that very well, getting quite a lot of penalties when we were last year, Marco, last season. So we don't want any of these drivers getting anything tonight, but
I think we will see a lot tonight, and if the social is any indication, I even had the 3-second ones.
Interesting. At the back of this field, then Afro in P6 as he's trying to get past Nuka as he's starting to drop off a little bit. Papa, who had a good start, and then he had a little bit of contact with the Force India, now down in P7. Just let's try and find anyone who's outside the top 10 and see if they've made any improvements. Ramdrop's one of them. He's up in P9 on the soft tyre, so good job with him. Deve in 10th. But where is Stries? Stries is in 19th place, all on his own, 40 seconds behind the leaders. So I don't know if
he had a really bad start.
A bit disappointing that for Stries, and hopefully he can bounce back in the race and maybe score some points. We'll have to wait and see. But at the front, Berg on his own, pulling away already, so it's good starts from the championship leader. And the gap to Failer is increasing now to 1.7 seconds, so this is definitely what Berg wants. So hopefully he doesn't have any calamities like he did last week in Suzuka. He doesn't want any of that tonight, or any distractions or any disconnections that he had in Monza, of course. And I bet Wycombe's is maybe trying to hack Berg's computer or something to try and get him disconnected here to stand any chance here of staying in the Championship 5. But you've got to give Wycombe's credit here as well. Obviously he's not racing tonight, but he did miss the first round of the season, and then he came in, and he's missed a few races this season, and he's still in with a chance at the championship, which is an outstanding achievement for Wycombe, you've got to say.
For sure.
Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. When he raced, he had the consistency throughout all the races. He did pretty much. By the way, it looks like RBK is also gaining a little bit on Failer here, so Failer might have the worst tyre wear here from top 3.
Just want to know, Afro's moved up to P5, he's just got past Nuka, so Nuka's going backwards, and now he's in a McLaren sandwich, because Fab Race is right on his trumpets right there, so he's got to be very careful right there, so maybe a bit of tactical work there from the McLaren boys, we'll have to wait and see. On board with Papa in P8 in the Renault, driving as everyone's favourite British driver right now, Jolyon Palmer. as he's coming out the hairpin, and we'll get a nice double slipstream here, and potentially get a position. We'll have to wait and see. He's going to jump up to Afro here, actually Nooker, to see if he gets an overtaking done. He's pulled out already. He's going to try and go for a late lunge. No, he backs out of it, and will stay in P6 for the time being as Papa's made contact. Papa's spun round, and that is not how to overtake at the hairpin, but he continues on. Not lost many positions, which is not too bad for him. He can bounce back.
Nicky retired at the same time. Don't know what happened to him.
Nicky, was that Nicky?
Yeah, double Nicky. Double and Nicky.
Double Nicky. A bit of disappointment there. Fizzy down in the 11th place, so not a good start there is Fizzy. And right behind him is Slick, who we've got to keep an eye on actually. He's the leading medium tyre runner right now. And we saw, as you...
RBK is also very close to the Vela now, so I want to keep an eye on that.
Well, indeed, as we're just watching Slick at the minute, he's going to get DRSs, so there could be an overtake here coming very shortly for the Mercedes driver up the hill towards turn 1. So we're going to jump on board with Slick here, going up towards turn 1. Fizzy is going to try and defend here, and he actually is holding very nicely, actually. So Fizzy's running a little bit less downforce just to help him hold off Slick behind, but we've seen Slick, which you can agree with me here, Marco, likes to go for the harder tyre strategy, and it actually has worked for him. He got second place in Monza, and he beat Berg von Trips. Of course, Berg had some issues, but he got a decent points finish, so he's going to hopefully try and pray, maybe do a rain dance or something to maybe get the rain out just as he hits. As these guys maybe try and do, obviously we'll have to do a pit stop, so as long as he can do decent pace over the rest of the field, he could be in for a shot of a podium tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I think the super soft runners will start planning their pit stop soon, and it's likely they'll just go on the medium still. It's wet on track.
We shall see as Fela right on the back of, actually no, RBK's on the back of Fela, so Fela's starting to drop off already as the back end slides for that Force India. Very, very aggressive from Fela there. Maybe he's trying to burn these tyres out as quickly as possible. Maybe the soft tyre for these guys, potentially. As you mentioned, the mediums as well could be a good alternative to go. And Fela all over the place there, going into that final penultimate corner there. So he is struggling right now.
It's too early to come in
as
now.
Actually, a Force India's popped into the pits, actually, Marco. I think Max is
very early.
Very early. As RBK down the inside he goes and gets it done and moves to second place. And we'll just see what Max is going on. That's a very early stop for Max, and he's going on to the soft tyre. So interesting strategy that from Force India.
Then he might do double soft or the soft, super soft till the rain.
There's Haas also in the background there of Fucatoro in the pits, and he's going out on the soft tyre, I believe. And he's off and away. So maybe Jeff's on the blower right now saying that the rain's coming maybe in like 10 minutes maybe. But obviously we don't know when the rain's going to come. We don't know how intensified it's going to get. Obviously we know it's going to be light rain, but we don't know if it's going to be heavier near the end of the race. So we have no idea, and we just got to just guess on the top of our heads.
Sometimes it changes a little bit from quali to race, as last time it started a lot earlier as well as it was predicted in the quali.
Indeed, so we don't know when the rain's coming, but we can say there is rain. If you want to find out, I would watch Randrop's stream because he knows right there. But Berg on his own, as we mentioned, he's put out a little bit of a gap. The gap is 3.6 seconds to RBK. Fela, after losing a position, holding on actually nicely to the back of the Toro Rosso. So maybe it was a tactical move. Maybe saving a little bit of fuel. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. As no one's pitting yet in the top 3. As I actually say that, Fela's popped in.
So it did look like RVK was a little bit faster there, but yeah, as I mentioned before, Fela did seem to struggle a little bit more on his tyres earlier on already.
A lot of people in the pits, you can just see in the background there. So the Red Bull's in of no Slick's carrying on actually. I thought that was I think it's Nooker's in. If my game actually lets me find some drivers to show you guys. Afro's out as well on the softs. Nooker is on the, I think he's on the softs as well. I think all these guys behind, he's actually on the mediums, Nooker, interestingly, as Papa's popped out on the softs. Fizzy has popped out on the softs as well. Fab Racer in the McLaren on the super soft tyre. That's an interesting one, that from Fab Racer. maybe he's just going to go aggressive here.
Yeah, Taylor now has to deal with a lot of medium runners. Only Springer ahead of him is on the softs and hasn't pitted yet, and he won't be coming in until at least lap 13. So, yeah, I don't think Taylor has chosen the best patch of road to come out.
Interesting. This is going to be interesting. Strees has actually got some people to race with, which is obviously great to hear.
Look at this, it's 4 wide on, not 4 wide, but there's 4 people on the main straight here, Ryan.
Oh my lord, look at this, guys, going down the back straight, and it's a Force India battle. We don't want a Perez-Ocon moment in Baku. We don't want to see that between the two Force Indias, but they're just going past the McLaren, who's on the super soft tyre, who has not stopped yet, I believe, Afro. And Vader trying to get around the outside, actually, and gets the inside, moves up into the points in P10. Good move that from Fader, but he actually loses out to his teammate Max in the process.
Yeah, Maffa should be on the mediums according to my race director, but now it seems he's on the softs.
We've got the Christmas lights once again from Cody, so going a little bug that one there, I've got to say. Just going to see if anyone's pitted yet. RBK staying out, Berg staying out as well. Slick, of course, staying out as well. He's 16 seconds off the race lead, so he's got to get a move on if he wants to.
Beautifully to pit on lap 9, by the way, Ryan.
Lap 9, we'll have to wait and see it. Interesting though for the Force Indies to go early. Maybe they got the call on their end from Jeff saying the rain's coming in a little bit earlier. So,
big battle between Taylor and the McLaren here into the S section, and Taylor lost the place.
And he has indeed, as he's dropped to outside the points now in P11 as, who's that? It's Afro in the McLaren Honda there, looking absolutely beautiful. Obviously we can't wait to see that McLaren in bright orange for F1 2017, the league races. It's going to stand out beautifully, I've got to say. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Force India, well, by the way.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that Force India. I'm very looking forward to seeing that on the screen, either if I'm racing it or I'm commentating it.
I think that's going to be a very popular car choice this year for the league.
It's going to be interesting.
Some other people are going to post their top 3s. It's not going to be Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. It's going to be Force India and then the rest.
Yeah, nice standout car, that one. But obviously we don't know if the equal cars will be the same. We don't know yet, so there will be some testing going to go on during the first week. As we're watching Springer in the Williams, I think he's one of the reserve drivers. He's taking Andre's spot tonight, as Andre's not here tonight. Just said tonight in his basic sentence, which is not great. He's doing it twice. Not good for me. But Springer obviously reserved, so he's doing pretty well in P8 in the points, so good job from him. Just going to see if the leaders are pitted there. They're not. Berg's still carrying on. Also RBK is as well, and the gap between the two of them is 5 points. RBK got a problem because he's going very slowly. He's losing time. He's 6 seconds behind Berg von Trips. He's lost a chunk of time. Maybe he made a mistake. I'm not too sure. He's no sign of a puncher, so there's a nightmare there for RBK in the last few laps there, Marco.
Yeah, maybe he didn't nail the first sector because you can lose a lot of time there if you don't get through it nicely after.
See his Ram drop in P3, so good job there from Ram. Obviously these guys on the mediums and the softs, it could be the good positioning, as Slick's actually catching up to the back of the Williams of Deeve. So Deeve driving as Massa, doing a good job there, and Slick taking it easy on these tyres. I noticed, I don't know if you've seen it, Marco, but he's short shifting very early out of the corner, so maybe he's trying to save as much tyre wear as possible on those rears, just to take him as long as possible before that rain comes. Is that a good decision?
It might be. I think that going a little bit faster here and undercutting people is better than trying to stretch your tyres, but we'll see. Considering the penalties update for now, we only have Fab Racer, and he already racked up 6 seconds. There's been warnings, but he's only on the penalty.
Just want to say as well, the top two are still going. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, honestly. Lap 9 was my prediction. They should be in on this lap. I can't imagine the tyres being fast now, or they're just trying to look for a gap, like they don't want to be stuck behind drivers like Fader is right now.
A question from a certain driver known as Wycombs in the chat, who's watching this currently from Belgium, I believe. So welcome to you, Wycombs, again. As Fizzy, he wants to know where Fizzy is. He's in 14th, and he's got a battle behind him going on right now. And Fukataro actually has just got past the McLaren of Fab Racer, I believe. So Fukataro up into 15th place as they both hunt down Fizzy right now. But we've got to keep an eye on the leaders and see if they're going to pit, or if one's going to come in 1 lap before the other. So we're going to see who's going to be the one who's going to take the
Oh, and Failer just spun out of the exit onto the straight, side by side with the Williams. That's not what you want.
That's a disappointment, that, for Failer.
Yeah, that's P2 down the drain for him. He was already losing it by being stuck behind those guys too long. Now he's losing it to the Haas, who's already on speed here.
As Berg is in the pits, so the race leader comes in right now, and I bet Wycombs is thinking, come on, Mercedes, do a crap pit stop here. Slow him down and get RBK up there. But nice cockpit cam shot there as he's going to go.
Put old tyres on that car.
Soft tyres for Berg. Interesting call. RBK stayed out, actually. He stayed out.
Oh, if you can do 11 laps on these super softs, I said you can do 15 laps on the softs, but he might prove us wrong, me wrong in this case.
If I was him, I would go into another set of super softs, you know. He could pull 11 laps out of these that have done qualifying as well. He could be in a shot here, you never know, of a race win. Also, you've got to think about ram drop as well, and like the likes of Slick. But Slick, unfortunately, is right behind his teammate, actually, as you can see right now. So, a bit unfortunate there for Slick, but he's just got to just hold on here, ride, and just pray on. Kalon, not really mentioned Kalon, he's in P5, actually. So
yeah, RBK is also still out on his first set of tyres, which is quite remarkable.
He's doing a stellar job, is RBK, and also Kalon as well. And also Slick, and also Ramdrop as well. So he's only 3 seconds away, actually, Ramdrop from RBK. And he's actually catching him very slowly. So Ramdrop's in a good position here. We haven't really mentioned him in the actual broadcast so far about being a potential race winner down the line. We have seen he's got pace, and we get a beautiful shot here going into the stadium section of the Circuit of the Americas. Absolutely beautiful, coming through this beautiful flowing section right here. You can see on your screen, resembling a turn 8 turkey, absolutely flat most of the time, actually, as Ram will come through, and surely RBK has to pit. He's staying out again. RBK for another lap. He's thinking the rain's coming at any time now. That is a ballsy strategy from RBK, and at the minute, as it stands right now, Berg will not win the championship, and it will go down to the last race in Brazil. But of course, the top two have not pitted, and they're just going to stay out until the rain comes, surely, Marco. That's the strategy they have to go for.
I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but I'm looking at this with amazement. Well, I'm not surprised with Ram staying out, but 12 laps on these super softs, I don't know.
Maybe he's got a tyre wear setup or something like that. He's made his car set up from being, like, you know, preserving the tyres maybe in the race. But that's
even if they're not like close to puncturing, they can't be producing like good lap times anymore. I mean, he must be at least a second down on his own fastest times. Let me see the race director.
Yeah, please find out the times. I would like to see what he's doing right now. If he's saying decent pace, and
no, he's actually like a lot on his fastest time. He's like a 39, and he's doing 41s at the moment. So yeah, like I said, he can't be doing fast times. He's been doing 41 since lap 7 actually. So he is still consistent in that. He's been doing the same lap time since lap 7, but yeah, you get he already has 2 warnings as well, so he has to be careful.
Evan Erties in the chat, obviously a moderator for the AOR, so great to see Evan's joined us tonight.
Impressive. Berg has 3 seconds.
And RBK again stays out. See, this is intriguing, actually. This is good.
That is, but Berg has 3-second penalty, Ryan. That's
Berg penalty. That's going to spike. This is going to get even spicier now that Berg's got a penalty right now. So interesting now that this is going to be the case right now, as Slick's in a shot here. You never know. All these guys on the mediums and all that go out, that are going to continue on. This is going to be very interesting, I've got to say. Especially.
Yeah, and Ram as well. He's driving neatly. Just one warning so far. He's on the soft, and he can do one stop here.
He's catching up RBK as well. Not by much, but he's catching him. Only a couple of tenths a lap.
He should be, because RBK just dropped half a second on his last lap time. So.
So we've got a few people in the chat that are just going like, "Oh no, Berg's got a penalty," and someone saying, "Come on, lose, Berg." I think people want to see a championship decider in Brazil. I would love to see it, but Berg's just been a brilliant driver this season. He's just been so
He has
consistent.
had to work for it, for sure. He has had his bad luck and stuff as well. But yeah, for viewers, it's always nice to see it go down to the wire. I mean, on the Xbox side, it has been decided since Italy already. So how boring is that?
Of course, and obviously, as Iceman apparently joined, I don't think he's in the league, so he should be leaving the session actually. So if he's actually watching this, I would advise leaving, because just making things a little bit difficult for us in case one of us disconnects and we can't get back in the session, so you won't see a broadcast. So if you're watching this, please, I'm asking very politely if you could leave the session. Fantastic. RBK still staying out again.
Unbelievable. Half race distance on used super soft.
I tell you what though, this gives me good help for Verstappen career mode round here. Round this track.
Don't you have modern tyres on there though?
So I'm going to experiment if 14 laps, whatever laps RBK does tonight, I'm going to do that in Verstappen. So we'll see if that is the case.
You should be able to do that, right?
I don't know really. I'm intrigued right now, but you can see now Berg. He knows he's got the
dropping
penalty.
off though. Like Ram is just 1.3 behind him. Look at
Look
that.
who's behind.
He's now in the DRS.
Ram's right on the back of. Sorry, Berg's on the back of Ram drop now. As well.
Yeah,
Berg must know he's
yeah.
got the penalty, but he just needs to attack very quickly here. And
But Ram can defend with DRS here.
he hasn't got any. No DRS. And
Not yet.
nice cockpit cam view for the viewers right now on the board with our Berg, and Berg's going down the inside. Late move on Ram drop, and he actually going to get the done.
Ram
No,
the
he's not.
inside for this corner. He should be able to force Berg out. He doesn't.
He gives him the
Oh,
space,
he
so
does.
good driving for the pair of them here. But Berg has the inside line and moves up to second place there. So crucial move, maybe a championship winning move. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't understand why RBK hasn't pitted, because Berg basically covered now his pit stop.
This is just a bizarre strategy call, this from RBK. Very interesting. How he's doing this.
What is he trying to do?
I don't know, maybe multi-21, maybe coming out from we'll have to wait and see.
There goes Berg, easy as pie. I mean, he has no. Oh, the rain has started to drop. So you can see into turn
and
one.
Berg's run a little bit wide out of turn 1, gives RBK a chance to try and get the move. They're going to go side by side through turn 2. And is he going to be done? Berg has got through, and Berg nettily gains the lead, but RBK
didn't have any tyres. He waited for the rain and it failed.
Well,
Because it's now starting to drizzle, but
it's come at
he's
a
going
good
to
time.
lose so much time.
It's come at a good
It's
time.
not time to pit yet. He has to stay out on these shitty tyres for at least 3 more laps.
He's just piling the pressure right now. He's losing, so he lost half a second already in the first sector. As RBK.
Every traction section he will lose a lot of time now.
I'll say Ram Drop's in a good position here. The rain has come out at the perfect time for him on those soft tyres, and he's got no one behind him for about a couple of seconds actually, Slick in P4. So he's got about 6 seconds advantage over the next car behind him. So
I'm surprised Ram didn't overtake RBK on the straight there.
it's interesting, there's actually RBK struggling for grip here on those very, very worn super soft tyres, and runs very wide going through that corner. It's going to give Ram a great chance here of an overtake going through towards the penultimate corner. It's just got so much exit speed and traction from that Red Bull, and if I was helmet marker, I'll be shouting down RBK to pit, and he's actually going to go in to the pit. So if he's going to go on right now to a set of the, I don't know what he's going on, as thankfully Iceman's left, so thank you very much if he's watching this. And what's he going to go on? And the rain is intensifying actually, Marco, so maybe these guys are taking a gamble here.
Yep.
RBK has to gamble. He has to gamble. He's got Force India out as well, which I think is for Max, and he's coming into the pits. We've got Williams
Yeah,
out
it
as
seems
well.
Ryan.
We've got a double shuffle as well, actually. We've got a double shuffle of the Force India's. Fader's in as well. It's a good call.
Let's see what happens in turn 1 here.
Oh, and he's being held up there. Not by much, though. Maybe about a second, that Fader. But good call that from Force India. Good communication from the two drivers in the Discord to make the stop there. So good job.
Yeah, he doesn't have the grip just yet because he lost it out of turn 1 against the Red Bull ahead of him on the mediums. But let's see what happens into the second sector. It does seem to come down a little more, as you say, Ryan, but I don't see any patches of water on the track yet. Do you see like a significant dry line yourself?
Looks can be deceiving, Marco. I will say that.
They do, but do you see these medium runners slip and slide
I'm
here?
just going to try and find the
See if
first
DRS
man
still works.
on-
That's a good indication.
I'm just going to see if I can find anyone who's on the intermediates right now, just to see. Right now, we've got a nice battle here between 3 cars of Chicane, Nooker, and also a Toro Rosso of RBK. RBK's the one to watch here. He's got past both of them already, and
the Red Bull spun.
Red Bull spun. RBK back end slides out there, and was that Nooker or was that Ram Drop? Who made a mistake there? It was Nooker. So
Nooker's due to pit now. I think it's Inter's time.
it is
Really
indeed. I think the race. So RBK could actually take the lead here, potentially. If the last couple of seconds was bad for these guys, we'll wait and see. As RBK's just coming in to that penultimate corner. It's a long pit lane, this one as well, at the Circle of the
Berg is
Americas.
in the pits, coming out on the Inters now.
So this is going to be very close. This is RBK. We've got a great helicopter shot, so we could maybe see a nice side-by-side here of the pit lane. As we'll see RBK coming across the line, and a few cars in the pits, and
Berg has timed it perfectly. He's out now.
And
It's a turn
Ramdrop,
one
this is going to be very close. Ramdrop just slips in behind the Toro Rosso, but Berg back out in the race lead. Has the 3-second penalty, remember, to the viewers right now. Maybe he can get some more, we'll never know. But we're getting close to the Driver of the Day vote, so we're going to change it up a little bit. The votes will open in the next lap or two, and will close as the race finishes, and we'll reveal the race winner during the drivers going through, and we'll announce the obviously the classification. So at the end of the classifications, we will reveal the Driver of the Day. Obviously, it keeps the people in the race thinking, who's going to get it? Am I going to get Driver of the Day?
Of course, India just came into contact with the Ferrari into the S section, so it's fun.
Oh, that's a real shame. Disappointment. Kalon,
It was Max.
Kalon P5. Gotta say, good job, good strategy call from the boys at Ferrari on his end, and also Slick as well in P4. And good job there. I've got to say, Slick's really the best performer, I think. Best improvement, best improved. Yeah.
Yeah, Nooker fell to P12, so very bad day for him. Starting from what was he, P3?
Yeah, failure as well. Obviously, disappointment for him as well, starting second on the grid. And you've got to say, Ramdrop as well was outside. I think he was 12th on the grid. Was Ramdrop, and he's in third. So he's the biggest gainer of anyone in the top 5. So that is very, very. That's great. Obviously, of course, for the Ramdrop actually. He had a good start to the season, then he just dropped off a little bit mid-season, and then he's just started slowly picking his pace back. So the gap to our race leader is 6.7, so Berg is 4 tenths ahead. And is this rain going to get any heavier? That's the question. It looks heavier, as it has been.
It started a lot sooner as the prediction than the prediction, but we expected that, so it could be getting heavy.
Just to let everyone know in the chat, the vote is now open for Driver of the Day. So who do you think at the minute deserves your vote? And this will run to the end of the race. So once the race leader crosses the line to end the race, the vote will close and we'll announce the winner during, obviously, when we go for the results there. But I've already got a few drivers in mind for Driver of the Day. Not drivers that you would expect me to go for. I'm just going to put it out there on that one. So, I'm not going to say yet, but you guys have to wait to the end of the race. As I think Fab Race has just retired from the Grand Prix, so he's out at the minute. As we'll see how this goes tonight for these guys. As RBK dropping off a little bit, and actually Ramdrop is all over the back of the Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
There's got to be some more team orders got to be going on here. If I was Helmut Marko right now, if RBK doesn't have the pace, then I would actually just let Ram drop through and maybe do a cheeky Hungary moment here. See if Ram can gain the pace on Berg, and then don't think it's just switch places again. But I don't think they'll do that in AOR. Of course.
No, I don't think so either.
Especially.
He was a lot faster in the dry. You can definitely see as the dry setup.
Especially with these two fighting in the championship, I believe. So pretty close at the points. So interesting to see how they go. Checking on the votes.
6.5 seconds from the leader now, though. So at the moment, Berg has got the win in the back, even with this penalty.
Let's hope.
Stabilizing gap though, 6.5 over the line.
It's going to be interesting, actually. This is going to be intriguing, actually. Berg has just got to play it easy here and be cautious. He doesn't want to get at least 9 seconds worth of penalties. I think that is going to be the crucial factor right now. Obviously, he does have a slam dunk one already. Probably going to guess it's corner cutting. So he's got to take it. Maybe the inters, these wet conditions can actually help him take it very easy and cautious here. Oh, that looked like a bit of a cut there from Berg, so we'll have to wait and see if he gets a warning from the stewards for that one. But the Berg's he's just doing what he's doing, he's just keeping the pace up, and we'll see if RBK can launch an attack. And he's actually gained a bit in the first sector, not by much, but the gap has dropped to 6.3 seconds, so he's on the charge a little bit there. And Ram's only a second behind, actually, and he's the star performer so far in this top 5. You've got to say, third downwards have been absolutely fantastic. You've got Slick at P4, and you've got Kane on P5, holding off Afro as well in the McLaren. So you've got to say, there were some strong candidates for driver of the day tonight, Marko.
Yeah, definitely. I like how the wet gives you different people that shine, because it's a different way of driving for sure.
It is. We'll just go through the field quickly. We've got Max. Max apparently is on the softs, but I don't think that's the case. I think he's on the inters, so we've got a little bit of a Christmas-like feature here. Because he's driving very well on the soft tyres, so he may have a glitch there. So I think he's on the inters. Springer doing a good job as well. For the reserve driver to be in the points, that's a good confidence boost to go into next season. Just to get some points on the board, and he's holding off actually Failer behind. So good job that from Springer in the Williams. Got to give him props there. So Failer's a 9th. Go on, Marko.
I said yeah, for sure, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something actually on there.
No. Go ahead.
What else is in there then? Failer drops, obviously, second on the grid. He's down 9, so that's not a great way to be him. Chicane, taking it easy in P10. You know, he's taking his own little race. Likes to drive in cockpit cam as well. If you want to watch his races, then check him out in the AOR forums. Always likes the cheeky cockpit cam, of course. Nooker down in 11th place, who started 3rd on the grid. He didn't want to be there at any point. Strees on a recovery drive, you've got to say, Marko. He was actually right at the back, 40 seconds off the lead. And he's actually matching the leader's pace of Berg, so not too bad that. He's only not that far away from the points, so he's on for he could be on the charge here for some decent points on the board. And you got to admit, he's definitely one to keep an eye on as well for driver of the day if he gets those points.
Yeah, he has definitely got a lot of pace with him. He's just unlucky today on his start. That's it. This game doesn't have a good contact model, so.
Bocatora's retired from the race, unfortunately, as well, so he's out. Not a good day for Haas, unfortunately, of the American fans in the crowd there. Not going to be happy with that. Vizzy in 13th, not having the best day, I think, for him. So I think Wycombs will be a little bit disappointed with his teammate tonight. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, this could play a massive role in it, actually. We've not already mentioned the Constructors, and we don't know if Man are going to win the Championship tonight. We're not too sure. But hopefully, if Reese can keep me up to date with the Constructors' Championship, that'll be fantastic. What it is at the minute, and I can try and work it out on the top of my head right there. So Papa in 14th, Mathis the Haas in 15th on his own, Deeve in 16th. Again on his own as well. He's ghosting at the minute. I think he could be retiring at the minute because he's lagging a lot there. So not what we want to see. Of course, just change the camera a little bit. We've got a bit of a glitch. The camera angle. There we go. Back to Berg. Leads the way still. And I've got to say, the driver of the day votes, it's pretty close between 3 drivers right now. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's very close.
Yeah, you should leave it mystery till almost the end when you announce them, obviously. honestly. I just heard from Nicky that the car ahead Maffers lagged into his car, losing his front wing. That's basically was his race.
Oh, that is not what you want. You don't want a laggy car to wipe
No, I
about.
had that in the social in Japan, and I know how annoying it is. It's like suddenly it just lags into you, and your car just
Yep,
crashes.
I've seen it actually. Someone in, I think it was on the Xbox side in Split 2, a YouTuber, actually who I watched actually. He was in second, he was going for the lead and had a lag contact on the straight with DRS, and he lost his front wing with only 2 laps to go. So I was very disappointed for him as well. We have seen some lag incidents over the years, of course, so we don't want that, and hopefully it's going to be fixed, or sort of fixed for F1 2017. We hope and pray that the multiplayer racing will be a lot cleaner this next game coming out 2 weeks on Friday as well, so absolutely excited for that. Obviously new cars as well. So what can I see? Reese just mentioned in the chat that Mana could win the Constructors' Championship tonight, but it's very unlikely. Fizzy would have to win the race, and Berg and Slick would need to not score. So at the minute, Berg leading and Slick in 4th. This is a great chance for Mercedes to close that gap down, so we could actually have a decider in the Constructors' Championship going into the last race in Brazil. And at least we can bring that form of entertainment to the viewers, so that'd be great. But you never know, because Kalon behind has caught up to Slick and is all over the back of the Mercedes. So you've got to say Kalon's in with a shot of driver of the day as well. He's just doing a fantastic job. He's been nowhere in this race. He just pops out of the mediums at the start of the race and is in 5th place going for 4th. Fantastic drive from the Ferrari driver tonight.
Yeah, great job from Kalon. He was my driver of the day the last time. So.
Yeah, you never know, Marco. Maybe that your vote is just giving a bit of confidence there. And he's driving as Raikkonen as well, so you never know. That might be the reason why.
Yeah, the Iceman, for sure. Just need to keep it cool.
He's keeping it cool, having his ice creams, having some vodka, and saying boah and boah. So, you know, he's got that in his mindset.
Having a shit.
On Battle, though, we're keeping an eye on his 2nd place between RBK and Ramdrop. And RBK's put out a little bit of a gap there to Ramdrop, but Ram's done a good job in P3. His first podium in quite a long time, actually, so it'll be a great achievement there. So there's a battle going on. I think it's between Afro and Max in the Force India, who's apparently still on the soft tyres. We know it's a graphical glitch, as Afro's got the job done, but Max is coming back at him, going into the chicane. He locks up and he holds the inside. That looks like a corner cut there from Max. That could be a penalty coming his way, but he gets back to P6, and as actually Afro runs wide actually and loses a bit of time as well, so that is not the good 2 corners there for Afro. A bit of disappointment for him. Keeping it front though, RBK lost a little bit of time actually to Ramdrop in the last sector, and he's actually closed the gap down to under a second, and he's actually just 2 tenths to our race leader right now. And a lot of people in the chat asking you, Marco, to say boah. So you can say at any point during the broadcast, that'd be great for them.
They'll be asking for it every week now.
I know, they just want to hear it, mate. They just want to hear it. Just want to quickly go over the Constructors' Championship. At the minute, going into this race, Mana have a 23-point gap. And as it stands, Mercedes will go into Brazil leading the championship by about, I'm going to guess this actually, about 6-7 points as it stands right now. So, Fizzy, you better get your move on. You've got to get your speed up, mate, if you want to help Wycombs out in the Constructors' Championship. But I know for Fizzy, Brazil is a strong track for him. From the Xbox days, he was really quick around there. And also, and actually Marco's very kindly provided standings, the updated standings. As it is right now, Mercedes will lead by 14 points going into the last race of the season. So, you got to say...
Burkhout broke himself at the end of the straight. He needs to keep his cool. He has a lot of gaps on him to push.
This is the sign of bottling right here, ladies and gentlemen. A championship, and he could bottle it going into the last race. So
maybe he has a gust of wind in this set.
Yeah, maybe Wycombs just blew a gust of wind onto the circuit and just took him off the racing line there. So that's intriguing actually, and he's just got to hope and pray that his internet doesn't go or his wheel doesn't have any disconnections or anything like that right now. We've only come up to the line, 5 laps to go and we
They
could
must
see.
listen to the stream while we talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want that, of course. And Williams put in the hashtag FizzChris underdog squad. If you don't know what that means, check Fizzy's videos out and you kind of guess what he's on about there. Yes, Brett, the poll is out. But
It just means their team, their team.
That's their
team.
Yeah, basically, if you don't know what FizzChris Underdog Squad is, it's basically a series that Fizzy's doing. It's their little mini team name they like to call themselves with the hashtag there. So obviously that's what we want. And on board with Ram, obviously we're keeping an eye on the battle for second place. It's actually getting a bit closer now. Ram's got very close. He's actually driving as Max Verstappen. I know I have a lot of Max Verstappen fans in my subscription feed, so hopefully Max can, Ram Drop brings Max Verstappen fans some of the light tonight. And this could be the closest he's ever been to the back of RBK. We could see a move here. Potentially he's actually logged up and nearly go to the back of RBK. Good driving that from Ram to avoid the back end of that Toro Rosso. But that's a scary one there. And we'll wait and see.
Yeah, Kalon has someone behind him now as well, so still pressuring Slick, but under pressure at the same time.
Oh, and Max nearly goes to the back of Kalon there, just locks the both front tyres, nearly clips the back of the Ferrari. But Max looking very tasty here for a move. And will the Inters last, Mark? And that's another question I want to ask. Being that early, can they last this long?
I think they should last around 15 laps, so everyone should be able to make it to the end. Maybe a little slippery in the end, but it's the same.
Kalon just bottled it there, nearly going to the back of Slick, and he loses the position to Max in the Force India. So Max up to 5th place as Kalon bottled it right there. So a bit unfortunate, but I think I just slipped the bottle onto the circuit there.
Something happened between RBK and Ram as well, because Ram lost a lot of time to RBK.
Oh, he did indeed. Maybe he did the same thing he did at the hairpin, just nearly going to the back of the Toro Rosso. And that's cost Ram massively of a chance of getting second place. But we don't know if RBK has any penalties or not. We do not know. And Marco's going to just quickly find out for us the updated penalties right now. You never know. Berg could have a load of penalties. You never know. He could have 3 second penalties. You just don't know. Could be a twist in the tail. And I thought for a second it stopped raining, but it actually is not.
Well, RBK actually only has 1 warning so far.
Wow. RBK's doing a good job actually tonight. He's very known.
Sorry, two.
He's very known for his penalties as RBK. He's quick, but he's aggressive and likes to do a cheeky cut at times. But we will see how that goes tonight for him. If he can do a clean race, then that is absolutely fantastic. RBK, but Ram drops off a little bit. Slick as well doing a good job in P4 holding off Max behind, but Kalon, even though he made that mistake, is still on the back of the Force India, so he's not given up yet on that P5 spot. And all 3 of them are coming up to traffic now, the Williams of Deve. And also you've got to count the McLaren as well in the background there. Afro's in a good, nice position here to just sit back, enjoy the carnage that could happen in a few laps time, or in a few corners time. And just go to the back, and actually we could see an overtake here. Max and Slick going side by side, going in towards the final sector, and Max is going to pull off a brilliant move around the outside. They're still going at it between the 2 drivers. It's going to be all chaotic scenes here. Max gets it done, and now Slick's going to be held out to dry by Kalon, and Kalon gets it done and moves up to P4, but Slick's not giving anything. They gets a better exit as well. They're going to go side by side through this absolutely insane corner. Oh, what a great racing this is between the mid-pack here. But Max has gone up from 5th to 4th, sorry, from 6th to 4th place there. And what a drive that is from Max, and good driving from the 3 of them.
There's Kalon as well on the inside.
He is indeed. We're going to have a drag race here, down the main straight towards turn 1. Who's going to win? Place your bets in the chat right now. Who's going to go in? Who's going to win this into turn 1? It's Kalon who's got the advantage going into that turn 1.
There's the inside line. He should get the tractions on here. A
tiny bit of banging there between the wheels, but keeps it clean. And Kalon up to 5th place as we see a ghosting Williams there, which is not what you want to see actually if you were driving through the 1st sector. But Max up to 4th, Kalon up to 5th, and Slick unfortunately drops down to 6th place. So his great drive unfortunately has just been hindered a little bit at the minute. But Berg's still going 8 seconds ahead of RBK. Ram's just driving his own race now unfortunately. He's just got to hold on and solidify third place, which is a fantastic job considering he started outside the top 10 and he's in the podium position. It's a fantastic drive from Ramdrop to that. Just go through the
I think he'll be annoyed that he got that contact and lost the chance to get higher, but at the same time he can be very satisfied with the third place as well.
He will be very intrigued there. Just to let you guys know, you've only got 2 laps to get your votes in for who you think deserves driver of the day. There's a few contenders.
2 laps for Berg to claim his second championship as well.
He will. He's only got 2 more laps to go before he becomes a world champion here back again. It will be, as you just mentioned there, Marco, a second world championship for Berg. The Austrian will be absolutely delighted to pick up the championship. He left after the last season just to recuperate and just get his mental mindset ready for F1 2017, but he's come back, and what a way to come back after a sabbatical.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if he'll continue on the PC. I've heard indications that he isn't, but yeah, we'll have to see for next season.
We'll have to see, but he's got to have some good competition next season. You've got RBK, you've got Strees as well, you've got maybe like Slick Ramdrop as well. That could be up there.
We might have Tigger return as well.
You could see Ryan 83 return. He could be looking pretty good. You never know. I may have just hyped the chat up a little bit saying I may return, but we'll wait and see. Someone asked about Strees. I've got to say Strees is in the points in 9th place, so you've got to give him credit as well to get back in the points, Marco. Did a good job there.
Yeah, for sure. Nice recuperation driving alone for most of the race, I would assume.
Springer just outside the points, unfortunately, but he's catching up to Nooker, so that could be a bit tasty going into the last few laps. For any Manor fans out there, obviously for the Fizz Chris squad, unfortunately Fizzy's in 13th, but he's got a battle potentially with Chicane near the end of the race. But Berg coming into the final sector for the penultimate time, doing an absolutely fantastic drive as always. RBK consistently in the podium positions, of course, so absolutely fantastic for him. Ram in 3rd, so could be intriguing here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, Strees now is Failer ahead of him, considering Failer started in P2. And like you said, Strees came back from P20. It's a big difference from their stories.
You know what I mentioned about the McLaren, Marco? He's now in the back of the train right now. He's first got Slick up the road, and he's not that far away, so that could be interesting in the final lap of this Grand Prix. I'm expecting Berg on the last lap. He's got 1 more lap to go. Hopefully he doesn't bottle this last lap and crashes or has a disconnection right here, but he's going through and
drives against the wheel on the road.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, I bet he's got that on his mind right now. He's going to have that on his mind there. And RBK is just cruising now. He's lost about 2 seconds to Berg, so I think he's going to take it easy here and try and go for a clean race, which will be, I think, the first time he's ever done that actually in the in Split 1. So. That's a good shot. I've got to give him props for that. Of course, he is known for penalties, as we mentioned. Max doing a strong performance in 4th place for Force India. Kanon as well, you've got to mention as well. Good shout out for him in P5. Right there. And the driver of the day votes is interesting. I'll say that.
As you said that Kanon made a mistake and now Slick is right on the back of him.
Yes. We want to watch this battle, but we've got to focus on this man here. Berg is in the final sector then. From a fantastic start to the season, he picked up I think he didn't win the first race, did he? He just lost out to Nick B, if I remember. But Berg has just come and just done consistently fantastic performance. He had a few issues with disconnections with his wheel and also disconnecting from his internet as well in Monza, which could have crowned him the championship in Suzuka. But here he comes then. Berg into the final corner he goes. And he's going to win the United States Grand Prix, but crucially, Season 13 of the AOR PC Split 1 Championship. He wins here in the USA. Round of applause to Berg von Trips. He wins the championship for the 2nd time in his career. Fantastic job there from Berg. And RBK is going to come home in 2nd place. But this man, I've got to say, in my opinion, deserves driver of the day. But it's not down to me, it's down to the viewers. Ramdrop comes home in 3rd place. From 12th on the grid, that's impressive for him. Max in P4 as well for the Force India. Another candidate for driver of the day in my opinion as well. And Kanon as well will come home in P5. A fantastic job. And even Slick as well putting off a good strategy call as well, and he holds off Afro as well, and stays in P6, and Afro's be P7. But Strees comes across in 8th place. Oh, he's down to 9th actually. He's lost the position.
Probably
so. Wow. Okay, that's.
But he did overtake him on track.
Oh, and Nooker's up to 9th as well. So I don't know what's happened there. Fizzy coming over in 12th place, but it could be maybe more. We'll see if anyone's got any penalties at lurking. Nobody's in 12th, so not good for the Fizz Chris squad, because that means that as it is right now, if I'm correct, Mercedes will lead the championship going into the last round by 14 points. So that's going to get... Actually, no, it won't be less than that because of Slick dropping down the order. But there's your man. Berg Von Trips wins the Grand Prix by 8 seconds from RBK, and also, crucially, solidifies the championship for himself for the second time. A great job there. RBK comes home in 2nd, with Ram in 3rd, Max in 4th, Kalon strong in P5, with Slick in 6th, Afro gets 7th, Fader gets 8th, Nook at 9th, and Strees, with penalties, comes home in 10th place with 9 seconds worth of penalties, so he got away with that one there. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit there. Springer in 11th, a good job for him on his for a reserve driver, not too bad. Fizzy in 12th place gets a penalty as well, so Fizzy, not good, mate. Disappointing you, Fizzy. I'm disappointed, absolutely disappointed. Papa in 13th, Mathis in 14th, Chicane 15th, Deve 16th, Fukataro 17th, Fanrazer 18th, Nicky in 19th, me in 20th, and Marco your last. So well done for you getting the win spoon.
Yeah.
For tonight's race. But what a race that has been. And we're going to head straight into the interviews right now, and hopefully this will work.
Champion is not online.
Our champion's not online. Hashtag right now. We need to get Berg in. We need to get Berg in the stream right now. But I can let you know, as it was at the line, we had a tie for driver of the day. I can say that right now. Between RBK and Berg Von Trips. So we may share this one, I think, because I think Berg deserves it for winning the championship tonight. But he's not online actually, which is not what we want to see, of course. We want Berg coming in now. So I know he pops into the chat at the end of the races, so hopefully in the chat can do a hashtag. What's the word I'm looking for? Bring Berg, bring champion or something. But I'm going to bring this man in. For me, this man who's joined us right now, in my opinion, deserves driver of the day. It is, of course, Ram dropping the Red Bull. Ram, congratulations on your podium, mate, and you see where you were. A great job.
Oh, hello, I was just about to take my headset off.
Well, you should have done that. It's good thing we can't call you in, mate. You're going to come in. Come in. You're lie.
Sorry?
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Ignore it. Ignore it. Gotta say, impressive from you considering you're outside the top 10. Obviously, we had no idea about the weather. Going into the race, obviously you can see what the sequence of weather's going to be. What was your strategy for the best decision that you ever made? Because it did work for you tonight.
Well, I was always going to do a one stop. If it was dry, I was going to do one stop. And you can't do it on supers to softs. So I had to start on the softs. So it was just a case of getting as close to the top 10 with my quali time.
That's what I say, and obviously you're on the podium alongside two fantastic drivers of RBK and obviously our world champion. Obviously you had a good battle with RBK near the end of the race. What happened at the end though?
I was catching him up on going into the hairpin before the straight, and for some reason I felt he broke a bit earlier than normal, maybe to get a better exit. Completely caught me off guard and I lost my right side of my front wing. So going down the straight, I hit the brakes, normal point, and just no braking, and the car just went.
It was a bit unfortunate because it got interesting in the chat actually. They got a bit excited with you right on the back of him, of RBK.
Yeah, but I lost the whole right side of front wing, so I couldn't do anything.
He definitely had a pace on him in the wet that was pretty apparent from the first lap.
Yeah, he had a lot lower wings than I did, I think.
Yeah, I said to Ryan he was probably running a much drier setup, but something like 7.6 wings, and you were probably around 8 or 9.
8.7.
Yeah, that's the ideal setup pretty much.
Intriguing, actually. Well, I can let you know, Ram. For me, you were driver of the day in my opinion, but you didn't win the vote, unfortunately. But in my eyes, you deserved it, in my opinion. You did a stellar job tonight. Obviously, we've got one more round to go. It's Brazil. Is it a good track of yours? And would you like to sign off with another podium or even a win next week?
Well, last year I had problems with my connection, as you may or may not know. And when we was doing qualifying, I was the quicker one over Tirano. So I like to think so, but we'll see.
Well, wait.
That's when I was doing qualifying laps because it was wet and I was a couple of tenths quicker. But I don't know if that was lag or something, so
we'll have to wait and see. And also, obviously, we've got 2 weeks away now from F1 2017. Obviously, I'm guessing you're going to be back for next season. And how excited are you for the new cars and racing with them next season?
Very excited. Yeah, we'll be back. I've got much more stable connection now, so just finding the time to practice, really. Didn't do any practice for this race. Came on about 10 to 8, did 2 full laps, went into quali, just learning the track, really.
We'll wait and see on that one, mate. But Ram, great
Honestly,
job.
hand on heart, you can see, hand on heart, I did 3 laps before the race, and then I went out.
Fair play to you, mate, on that one. But Ram, thank you for joining us again, of course, and we wish you the best of luck in the last race at Brazil, and we'll see you next time, mate. Good job on tonight, mate, and a good third place.
Alright, cheers.
We are going to bring only one more.
Ryan.
We're going to bring one more person in, and I think a lot of you know who.
Champion, obviously.
We have a 2-time world champion in the chat right now. Berg, first and foremost, massive congratulations on winning the AOR PT Split 1 for the 2nd time this season. Explain, how does that feel?
Well, first of all, winning it for a 2nd time this season, that would be interesting. I mean, that's something that I don't think I'm able to do. But no, I know what you mean, of course. Yeah, out of words. What a tough race from start to finish. It might have looked easy from the outside, but man, with the rain and me starting on super softs, it was all so tight. But it worked out at the end.
How did you feel when you noticed RBK did not stop at all and he went so long on those super softs? Do you think that was a good call for him personally? And what was your mindset going into that right now? And obviously you had Ram drop as well behind you as well on those soft, or ahead of you on soft tyres. What was that in your mindset? Obviously knowing that you could get 2nd or higher, you could win the championship. Were you a little bit concerned at that point?
Not really. I mean, I didn't expect RBK to stay out for so long. I mean, he stayed out until lap 14, and my tires were pretty much dead on lap 10. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that as well.
I mean, I could have pushed until lap 11, but I felt like I was already losing performance. And at this stage, my engineer told me that the rain was still 5 minutes away, so I thought maybe 2-3 quick laps on the first set of tires instead of, you know, risking a puncture, because I'm sure at last on, let's say lap 12, I would have gotten a puncture for sure. So I felt like pitting was the right decision. And yeah, I was catching these two at a rate of knots. I mean, 1.5 seconds per lap or even more. And obviously pushing my engine as well during those 4 or 5 laps. And at the end, managed to get past both of them, which was so sweet.
I've got to give you another question as well. If you don't know this, you are now leading, obviously you've won the championship, you've also now leading the constructors now from Mana. So you could be getting a double championship this season, maybe going to Brazil. Obviously, I have to ask this question, obviously YComs has been right there with you throughout the entirety of the season, and it was a shame he couldn't be here, obviously, to challenge you for the championship, and it would be hopefully a great time for you and him to have a great one last battle before to sign off to F1 2016 and go to 2017. How has he been as a competitor and a championship contender? How has it been with having him as a rival this season?
Well, I can't just mention YComs when it comes to rivals. I have to mention Nick B as well, who
of course.
You know, he was the rival at the beginning of the season. We had this amazing race in Melbourne, where I think we were less than a tenth apart at the end of the race, which pretty much reflected qualifying as well. So Nick B has had great pace. I've had some great battles with him. He's been absolutely fair. One of the cleanest and fastest drivers, but unfortunately things went wrong for him, as we all remember, and he then didn't have the motivation anymore. I would say ever since Monaco or maybe Canada, that's when I realized that Wycombs was a serious threat for the championship, because he was stacking up those podiums while I was having some off races in Canada where I finished 10th, or Silverstone where I finished 5th. He kept on winning or getting second or third place, which is obviously the sort of consistency that puts you in a spot to compete for the championship. And man, is he quick. It is a shame that he has missed the last 2 races. I'm sure he would be so much closer, without a doubt. And but my last 2 races didn't go that well. I think with a normal race in Monza, I would have finished second at worst, maybe won the race, given that Strees had a penalty. And Suzuka, pace-wise, I'm positive I would have had a really good shot at winning the race as well. So on the one hand, it's a shame not to have Wycombs here anymore, and the championship basically being decided. Well, it's not a shame for me, but for the people watching. But on the other hand, it could have been decided like 1 race ago or 2 races ago as well. So I guess it sort of balances out.
Exactly.
You had your work cut out. Like there were like some hurdles that got tossed in your way instead of having a competitor on the track.
Yeah, like stray wheels. Thanks, Codemasters.
Yeah. Debris is good.
Well, in a way, the viewers are going to see something exciting, because there's still a Constructors' Championship to decide next time out, and obviously Wycombs is going to be back. Fizzy's very good around Brazil, but you have got Slick, who I have said in the broadcast over the last few races, he has impressed me. He's been probably one of the most improved drivers I've ever seen in Split 1 from a long time. So you've got a very strong teammate that could help you clinch that Constructors' Championship next week. How's he been as a teammate?
Oh, he's fantastic. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I didn't really have a teammate because my original teammate had some issues with his equipment, so he couldn't really take part. So it was basically a one-man team. And then Slick joined, and immediately from the get-go, we had a pretty good, basis to work with. We got along well. We were practicing together and talking about race strategy, tire strategy, and so on, making sure that we wouldn't pit on the same lap. And he's been such a help. I mean, without him, we wouldn't be even close to winning the Constructors' Championship. And now, as you said, we are leading it by
not
a few
by
points.
much. I'm going to say that, not by much.
14 points, I think.
Okay, 14 points, yeah. So that's, I mean, if you consider that towards the beginning of the season, Mercedes were like 4th or 5th in the Constructors, then all of a sudden being first with a pretty reasonable gap, if you ask me, is unexpected to say the least. But it's going to be tough. I'm going to give it my best. I'm not sure whether we're actually racing at Brazil or Abu Dhabi.
I think it's Brazil.
Oh, is it Brazil? Okay. Yeah, not really one of my favorite circuits. So yeah, that could spice things up, and I'm sure Wycombs and Fizzy will be in great shape as usual.
Yep, and
they should give it their all for the last race, at least in my opinion. But it all depends on the motivation, of course. I also have a question for Berg. First of all, congratulations, of course, on your championship.
Thank you, Marco. Thanks. From one two-time AOR champion to another.
I'll just leave the room.
Join the club. There's cookies and milk in the corner. Anyways, I saw, of course, we were watching you on the last few laps, because that's like the moment where you feel the most pressure, of course, knowing you might win it at that stage, I guess. I mean, at Mexico last year, I had it go to my head a couple of times, obviously. But I saw you like outbrake yourself one time on the straight. Was that a moment where you had like the championship in your head instead of the driving, maybe, or?
No, it was actually the other way around. I was extremely nervous at the beginning of the race, and then after the second stop, when I pitted for inters, and when I had a I had a 3-second penalty at the time because I cut the entry to the pits.
Yeah, we saw that.
And, yeah, so
But you already had a 3.5 second lead out of it.
yeah. And as I got out of the pits for the last time, I was more than 6 seconds ahead of RBK. And then at that point, I was waiting for the first 2 laps in the wet to see if I'm competitive, if I'm losing time. And I wasn't pushing too much, but I was still sort of keeping the gap. And then the last few laps, I gotta say, I even turned my engine up and started pushing again because I felt so comfortable in the rain, and I knew that today would be my day. I could feel it. Everything was really falling into place, from pit stops to overtakes to, being on the right tire and everything. Today was gonna be my way.
It did look like you pitted on the right lap, and that RBK had to pit because of his tires, but he was 1 lap too.
Yeah, I mean, we should
The first pit stops were really crucial. Like Vader wasn't too behind you, but he got stuck behind traffic for so long because he pitted too early.
Yeah. Would you have pitted on the same lap as me, or maybe lap?
Super soft, I would have gone lap 9. That's what I said on the stream. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And I did lap 11 in the social on the softs, but that's because the guy that was fighting me had hit it like 2 laps before that, and I didn't want him to have a big gap.
But 14 laps on the super soft, I mean, he deserves to be called the tire whisperer from now onwards.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Maybe he got like fresh ones for some reason, or I don't know.
Anyway,
lose a lot of time, but yeah.
Just want to quickly say one more final thing. Berg, are we expecting a shoey from you for winning the championship? A lot of people have been requesting it in the chat, so...
Yeah. Bergie Shoey.
Bergie shoey, we want to see it right now.
Oh god, no, I hate Daniel Ricciardo. Fuck.
I think there should be a rule now in AOR.
like
If you win the championship, you've got to do a shoey. So you're going to be the very first recipient of the shoey, and we're going to show it. If you video it, we're going to post it on the broadcast, and you may get some love from some fans. So you never know.
I'll think about that.
Instead of a hot tap guide, we get a shoey.
Yeah, we get a shoey guide from our champion.
I'll have to check up with my insurance, but yeah.
Berg, massive congratulations from you tonight. We will see you next week for Brazil, and hopefully you'll start last place and do a last to first and show off these guys. That'd be great, but
no,
no
way.
I don't blame you.
He wants that constructors after all.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can win it in style, mate.
Yeah.
Berg, congratulations. We'll see you next week, mate. Good job, and well done on the championship again, mate. Massive well done.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks.
You're welcome, man.
So, Marco, quickly, we'll wrap up the broadcast. You know who my driver of the day was, if you guys just joined again. Ramdrop, it gets it for me, but Marco, for you?
I'm going to have to give it to Berg this week, because he had it under control from start to finish, like a true Vettel performance back in the Red Bull days, starting from the front and ending at the front.
Give them that. And also I want to give a massive congratulations to Species Split 2, as Michael X99 clinched the championship as well in Split 2, so he's going to be joining these guys to next season. An absolutely fantastic job. He's one of my subscribers as well, so he's doing us proud on my Discord. So a massive congrats to Michael for winning that, and I think Tiger's in with a shot as well of going up as well, which would be great for him. Missing a couple of races actually from his holiday, so hopefully you can pick that up for Brazil. But that's going to wrap it up tonight, Marco. Again,
he's actually the one I had a great battle with in the social Thursday, Michael. So, yeah, congratulations, Michael. Again.
Massive congrats, and that's going to wrap it up then tonight. Next race is unfortunately the last race of the season. It's at Brazil, apparently. I think it's correct.
It shouldn't be long until the 2017 league start, I think.
It will be intriguing to see how it goes next season, but we will see you guys next week for the final time on this game, actually, of AOR. So make sure that if you want to see more of these, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, you like the video, and you also follow me on Twitch as well if you're watching this over on that as well. But for Marco, my fellow co-commentator, and also the Ted Kravitz of the team, final words?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching, everyone, and it's been a pleasure as always, Ryan.
Always has, mate. And from myself, we will see you next week, same time, same place for the finale of Season 13. I've been Marco. I've been Marco. It's been a long time. He's been Marco. I've been Ryan. We'll see you next week at Brazil. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Peace.
Bwah.